praise and you thank God for my friend and brother, your pastor, one and only, illustrious Reverend Sean Ellison Jones. Amen. And to all the leadership here, family and friends, to Lottie, Dottie, and everybody, aren't you glad that you pressed your way on this cold Wednesday night to be in church? Just because it's cold on the outside don't mean you got to be cold on the inside. Amen. So praise our God. Thank you for allowing us to share in these moments of your wonderful Wednesday fall revival. Your pastor is my friend and my brother. Amen. And my brother from another mother. I appreciate our genuine friendship and connection. Amen. How many know in this season we want God to give you real people? Amen. Amen. To our worship leader, thank God for you tonight. If you know me, I'm not long. Amen. Because all of us either got to go to work tomorrow or put somebody to bed tonight. Amen. Amen. But if you stay with us, if you holler back at us, amen, we won't be long. We're trying to be strong in Jesus' name. John chapter 5, verse number 1. We thank God for Pastor Soto and his absence in his music ministry being here tonight. John chapter 5, verse 1, it says, after this there was a feast of the Jews. Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. And this lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt withered, waiting for what? The moving of the water. Verse 4, King James Version says, for an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then after troubling of the water stepped in was made whole, and whatsoever disease he had. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lie and knew he had been now a long time in that case, he said unto him, wilt thou be made whole? The empty man answered, sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. While I am coming another step down before me, and Jesus just said to him, rise, take up thy bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. I want to preach from this start as the spiritual guide, as you should pray, push and pray us through. I want to preach from this start, make your move. All right, so I want you to look at somebody and declare with authority, tell them, make your move. No, I didn't say bust a move, I said make your move. Amen. You may be seated. And let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Because of our love and affinity for music, especially that of the soul, black soul era, I was just kind of thumbing through Pandora and I came across a song by 2 artists. You won't find their names in the James Cleveland Book of Gospel Writers, and you won't find their songs in the Red Hymnal or the Green Hymnal. I don't even know if you know who Whitehead and McFadden are, but they penned the song. The lyrics go something like this. I'm sure you've never heard it, so I just want to give it to you for the first time. There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know, but we won't let nothing hold us down. We're putting ourselves together, we're polishing up our art. If you felt we've been held down before, I know you'll refuse to be held down anymore. Don't you let nothing stand in your way. I want you to listen to every word I say. Every word I say. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We've got the groove. And I just chose that to kind of be a sermonic or introductory hook to tell somebody in here that you are one move away from a major blessing, miracle, and a door to be opened in your life. But you can't stop now because you're on the move. You're on the move toward a place in the spectrum and a sense of wholeness and wellness, where God wants you not just to be saved, but he also wants you to be sane. Where God doesn't just want your soul to be saved, but he wants you to be out of debt. I have a question for you. How many of you in here, you're saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit, but there's still some spots of emptiness in your life? Can I get that? You can clap now. Amen. Don't be scared. Pastor clapping too. Say amen. You're not going to get nervous. But there's some areas and some spaces in your life that are not quite congruent just yet. They're just not really coming together the way you want them to. You know, there are times when we are delayed in reaching this place of wholeness because we live in this culture, if you will, a culture of excuses, a culture of exemptions, a culture of exclusions. We want to play the blame game on life. We don't want to play the hand we're dealt with. We want a better hand. I'm in debt because of predatory lending. I left the church because of hypocrites. I'm single because I'm just too good for people. I'm unemployed because of Trump economics, and I won't be able to really reach my highest altitude of vibranium until I move and live in Wakanda. All these different things. Amen. But in order for us to experience this wholeness of Christ that we're going to unpack, there must be what we call an orchestral effort. In other words, God's going to do his part, but you too have to do your part. There will be divine ability, but there also must be human responsibility. And so when you begin to take ownership and personal responsibility of where you are, how you got there, and how you can make your next move. How many of you know that your history is not an indication of your destiny? That where you have come from is not always a clear indication of where God is taking you to. Can I get an amen right there? Is there anybody here that knows that your starting point and your ending point are not the same point? Wave your hands and just say, Lord, make me better, make me better, make me better, make me better. Amen. This whole concept, bro, of shalom, Shabbat, of wholeness, nothing missing, nothing broken, it's an enormous, grace-filled concept. It is understanding that God wants us well, wants us at peace, wants us at full communion with him. Amen. I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't need an increase in compensation. Sometimes I just need an increase in sleep. I can get to 3 more amens. Is there anybody here say, Lord, you can pay me with some more rest? Come on. Can our brother get a nap? Can a sister get a nap? Amen. I just need some peace. And sometimes God gives you peace, not with addition, but with subtraction. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Sometimes God gives you the peace you need when he subtracts those who are cluttering your space. There are just some people who clutter God's grace space in your life because you feel like you need a lot of people around you to make you complete, to make you happy, to make you whole, to make you get up, to make you go to sleep. But is there anybody here that's declaring that when 2020 comes, I too will be living my best life? Amen. And I too will be, walking by faith and not by sight. I need somebody just to shout, I'm ready for my move. I'm ready. In the text today, we see just a slight investigation reveals a few things for us that we'll be on our way tonight. But here it is. The text reveals to us if you're going to make the move towards this place of wholeness, there's some intentional, deliberate steps that you need to take. First of all, we understand that we're at the pool of Bethesda. Bethesda having 2 meanings, Hebrew and Aramaic. Are you with me tonight? That Bethesda means grace, and it also means disgrace. That this pool of Bethesda with 5 porches had different meanings for those who were there. For some folks, it was a place of grace, God's unmerited favor, and for others, it was a place of disgrace, disease, difficulty. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in one place but it meant more than one thing? Have you ever been in one situation and in one case it brought you deliverance? In another case, it brought you some difficulties. In one place, it brought you blessings. In another place, it brought you burdens. Matter of fact, somebody, you're in church tonight with conflicting feelings because you know you can get your praise on, but also there's somebody in here who you need to talk to. Ooh, can I get an amen? And God brings us to these places of Beersheba, these crossroads, if you will, these intersections, the intersectionality of life, where one place can mean more than one thing, depending on the season that you're in. But when you're ready to make a move towards your wholeness and towards a better life, God says, only I can take a place that's meant to disgrace you and bring grace to you. Is there anybody here that knows God knows how to change the circumstance, the situation, and the context, so that when you should be in a place of disgrace, and amen, God will still wake you up in the morning and start you on your way. Is there anybody here that's glad God gave you another day? I need you to look at somebody like this Sunday morning, look at them with a blessed beam in your eye and tell them, this is still the day. Come on, tell them, this is still the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. And so if you're ready to make the move, here it is in this dual place. First thing you have to do is you have to disassociate from sick people. Ooh, amen. I'm going to have to work like this school. Disassociate from sickness or sick people. The Bible says at this pool of Bethesda, there's a certain type of individuals there. Scripture says that there are sick folks there with disease and dysfunctional and uneasy, had all kind of maladies. Amen. Sick people hanging out with other sick people trying to find a solution. Do you see the paradox of that? Y'all hear what I'm saying? It's like the blind leading the blind. It's like everybody with the same issue hanging out with somebody with the same issue, wonder why none of us are getting better. Are y'all hearing me today? The scripture said at this pool was all kind. You don't read anything about folks. They don't read about nobody who's well, who's doing well, has a positive mind, is optimistic, hanging out at the pool. It's just everybody with common cripplings just congregating together. It's like birds of a feather flock together. Are you with me? Those with similar social sicknesses just kind of hang out together. This is why you have to be, and I'm not a social therapist at all, I'm not just a preacher. This is why you have to be prayerful and careful and meticulous and intentional about who it is you are connected to, because whatever they have and you're connected to them, there may be a transference of sickness that you don't want. You can wonder why you don't like somebody that you don't know. It's because you're hanging with somebody that don't like that person, so they influencing you. You mad at somebody who you don't even know. I ain't gonna help. Can I push it in? Can I push it? Brothers and sisters, sometimes your circle of associates will reveal some of your personal dysfunctions. You see things like this, I hear you. I know because you post on social media. I don't know why liars are attracted to me. I don't know why haters are attracted to me. Y'all hear me? I don't know why just people with mental problems, emotional problems always connect to me. Could it be? Now, could it be that when they see you, they see a mirror reflection of themselves, that they see something in you, that they have maybe it's just a mutual attraction. Is there anybody here that keep it real? Say, even in church sometimes, you have to be careful, prayerful, meticulous about who it is. Now, I know we all say, sanctified, filled with the precious Holy Ghost, but is there anybody in here, you are saved, but you are still in process? Come on, push me. I said you are saved and still in process. Amen. In other words, that means that I'm saved, but I can still set it off up in here. Come on. Come on. Y'all ain't hear what I'm saying. Don't you look at me. I ain't speaking to y'all. Amen. I can praise the Lord. Amen. And I still know some other tongues. Amen. And God ain't through with me yet. Can I get an amen? And that's how you even have to be intentional about your praise environment. Come on. That's why you have to be intentional about your seating. No, I ain't trying to be funny. I just don't want any praise here blocking my blessing, blocking my shout. Can I get an amen? I don't want you coughing on me with your judgmental spirit. I don't want you sneezing on me with your pharisaical philosophies. I don't want you hacking on me with your holier than thou attitude. Amen. If you don't like how I'm praising God, that's your problem. You did not help me pay that card, Edison Gill. Come on. You did not put food on my table. Is there anybody in here? You will not let some sick sense stop you from giving God a praise. Matter of fact, go ahead and take a quick 13-second shot. And if they look at you funny, if they look at you strange, they must be sick. say, you cannot be at the pool and expect those who are in need of the same solution as you to give you what you need. Here it is. Watch this. Can I push it further? I want to suggest this, that the new pool of Bethesda, I'm getting in trouble now, they messed up my car. The new pool of Bethesda is social media. Oh, Lord, ooh, come on. The new place where all of the, out of source folk, the new place where everybody with, dysfunctions and delusions and they somewhere hanging out at TGIF. Twitter, Google, Instagram, Facebook, are you hearing me? They're somewhere hanging around there, watch this, and liking each other's dysfunction. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Can I tell you, don't sell your soul for likes, amen? I don't care if you look at how you want to, I don't know. Don't take a selfie in the club Saturday night, and a selfie in church Sunday morning. I'm in the house here because you gotta be careful. Just because someone likes a post doesn't mean that really they support you, that they're genuine about the connection. Is there anybody here that knows sometimes you gotta just go through a season of delete, a season of retreat? Come on, and just pull everything down. Matter of fact, some of you in here, I already hear you saying, as soon as you get home, you're gonna delete some numbers out your cell phone. Come on, some emails you need to forget, some people you need to block, because is there anybody here, you like me, you're saying in 2020, I'm not allowing the enemy to distract me. Come on, I'm not allowing the devil that thought he had me in November that he can come all over in January. No, he is alive. Watch this. It's like the time I picked my son up from daycare, and he's over there in the corner of the shop. I'm telling you, his eyes are running, pink eye, runny nose, all kinds of gooky, yucky stuff going on with him. And I said, wow, at my house, we sterilize things. Come on, we wipe everything down. And then I realized that he didn't get it from home. He got it from another environment, a foreign environment that he was in. Because I looked over at Shanika and Tanika and Ray Ray. They too had runny eyes and pink eyes. They were coming out their ears, coming out their nose. And I realized something. My son picked up a germ in an environment that was not his home, but somewhere foreign. And I said to myself, if I just remove him from this environment, he can get better. You know what I did? I took him out of that daycare. He was home with me a whole week. Castor, lemon juice, Vicks, come on, soup, all that. Amen. I hooked him up. He was in daddy quarantine. Amen. Wrapped it. Come on, talk back. I feel like preaching. Put onions in his socks. Come on, I got real country with it. You gonna sweat this thing out this week? Come on. I took him back to school. Took him back to the daycare. He's all smiling, effervescent, glowing. The teacher says, what did you do, amen, to bring his health back? I said, first of all, I had to remove him from people and situations and an environment that could have killed him. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And then I forced him to spend some more additional extra time with his father. I don't know what I'm preaching today, but God told me to tell you, sometimes you need to unplug from certain sick environments and amen, and enhance your connection with your father. Matter of fact, midway through the sermon, just lift your hand and say, Father, I stretch my hand to thee, no other help I know. Is there anybody in here that you say, I'm going to disassociate from sickness? Can I push it further? Only got 1.5 more points. Are you with me? Okay, first, if you're going to make your move, you have to disassociate from sickness. Secondly, you're going to have to denounce sorcery. Now, I'm not talking about black magic and all this. It's deeper than that. Witchcraft and step on a crack and break your mama's back. No, I'm not talking about goober dust. No, those are just kind of subsidiaries, if you will, of sorcery. Sorcery, in its purest etymological term, is just simply, it's a disorder in source reliance. We have a disorder in your source reliance. Can I push it further? That sorcery, and I'm going to make the connection. Sorcery is when you're trusting something earthly to perform when only something heavenly can do. Can I push it here? When you're trusting some type of earthly manufactured process or person to do for you what only someone heavenly above and superlative can do for you. Can I push it further? It simply means when you are trusting and putting your confidence in a person or a place or a thing more than you are putting it in God. Can I push on here? It's when you're trusting to hit the mega millions. Amen. Amen. I promise I'm on time to the church. Right? And no, it's when you're trusting that process over God being Jehovah Jireh and just supplying your needs. Why? Because the scripture says that all of these sick individuals hanging at the pool, what are they waiting for? Who are they waiting for? They're waiting, the scripture says, for certain seasons. They're waiting on certain times. They're waiting on angels. Are y'all hearing me today? They're waiting for all of these outside contingencies for things to happen for them, to them, before they can receive their miracle. Can I push it here? They're not waiting on the one who created the winds and the waves. They're waiting on certain seasons, certain times, certain people. They're waiting on angels. And I know we all love angels. Raise your hand if you got some angels in your life. Yeah, I'm going to say all night, all day, the angels watching over me, my Lord. But can I tell you that the angels, amen, they have just been dispatched from a higher authority. That the angels are simply messengers. They're simply conduits, amen, that the higher authority uses to bring you message and to bring you protection. And here's your shout. Here's your shout. This is why you should never trip and get tied up about who God uses to get something to you. Do you hear what I said? Don't ever get amen, married or cemented with the angel or the messenger, come on, that you forget that they are just following orders from a higher authority. Watch this. How many of you know that God, I feel it now, can use anybody he so desires to get something you need your way? Can I push it further here? How many of you know that God can change who he uses, but he'll still get that blessing to you? Amen. Watch this. And there were some people who thought they had the monopoly on your next blessing, the monopoly on what God can do in your life. And so God showed both of you that you didn't need that person when God removed them. There's some people in your life that's trying to be the puppet master of your life. They try to act like they pay your bills for you, and they can't eat without you, but you can't eat without them, and you can't go shopping without them, and you can't be a disciple of Christ here. The devil is a lie. What you ought to do is tell them, I'm going to need you to leave now, because I need to find out, amen, that God is truly the source of my strength, and God is truly the strength of my life. The psalmist says, I will lift up my eyes to the hills from which cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord. And then do I have at least 25 praises in here that can declare, I don't care how God gets it to me, as long as he wakes me up this morning and he starts me on my way. How many of you know that this morning you didn't know exactly what you were going to eat, but you had something to eat? Can I get some here? You didn't know exactly what you were going to wear, but you looked in the closet and you had a few clean clothes. See, you are praising God for all the super stuff. No, I don't have no Bentley. I don't have no Benz. I don't have a chopper. I don't have a helicopter. Amen. I got a Buick. I got a bus pass. I got a Metro card. And I got legs to walk. Y'all don't know when to shout here. At least 15 of y'all here who's not being stingy with your praise. Come on. Because some of y'all sitting next to some stingy praisers tonight. Don't sit next to them next Wednesday. Amen. They looking at me funny. Come on. But I ain't never scared. Come on. Because when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he's done for me, hallelujah, I'm not relying or I don't be tripping on who God uses to get it to me. God can, I don't care who he can use. I don't care. Matter of fact, it's like the one time in a preaching, it's the one time a church mother lived next door to one of those black Israelite atheist dudes, right? Church mother lived next door to one of those black Israelite, one of those woke brothers. Church mother living next door to the woke brother. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And so the church mother was praying. See, the woke brother, the atheist, right? And, you know, black Israelite, he don't believe in God. You know, it's a figment of imagination. It's a philosophical dream. You're delusional. You're in delirium. God is not real. That's what he thinks. Church mother is a praying mother, right? She got her own closet in the house where she prays. One day she was in the prayer closet and said, oh Lord, it's getting cold. I need some blankets, Jesus. Watch this. And so the black Israelite, he heard her and said, I'm proof to her there's no God. He went down Walmart. He went down to Walmart you for the blanket. I just need some pillows, Jesus. And so he hears her, he says, I'm gonna fix her, I'm gonna show her. God's not real figure of her imagination. All this is just kind of made up. And so he goes down to Walmart again and gonna get her some pillows. Ooh. And puts it on the back door. Wants to be anonymous about it. So he leaves. And then she comes outside. She sees the pillows. She goes back, put the pillows down. Where she go next? She goes back to the prayer closet. She's starting to see some kind of connection. When I pray, something happens. So you tell about how to get to you. Well, I'm going to help you. She goes back in the closet one more time. Lord, I thank you, Jesus, for the blanket, Jesus. I thank you for the pillow, Jesus. I just need some slippers too, Jesus. So what happens? You know what happens this time? He goes to Walmart, he gets some slippers, and actually gets the right size. Don't even know what size. Ends up just getting the right size. But he says, this time, I'm going to reveal who the source is. This time, I'm not running from the door. This time, I'm going to show her that it was not this God, this Jehovah, this Nisi, and all this other stuff she be saying. No, I'm going to show her that I was the God who brought it to her. So this time, he says at the door, she opens the door. She says, how may I help you? He said, I just want to let you know, I took my money and my time and my hard-earned dollars, and I went down and stood a long line after being in traffic for 30 minutes to go to Walmart. I was the one that bought you the blanket. I was the one that bought you the pillows, and I was the one that bought you the slippers. She said, what? She looked at him up and down. She just did this. She said, oh Lord, I want to thank you, Jesus, for supplying my needs and making the devil pay for it. Can I preach it here like I really feel it? Come on, help me preach it close this summer. Look at your neighbor, shake your hand, and tell them, neighbor, God can use your enemies to be a blessing to you. Do I have a witness here that knows what the devil did for evil? Y'all want me to preach? I said I want somebody to get up and jump on their feet and just take one good spin. Come on, take one good spin. And that just simply means what the devil meant for evil, God turn that thing around for your good. Do I have a witness here that can lift your hands up and say, God, any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied. Can I preach it like I feel it? Give somebody one last high five, and don't be ashamed to touch their hand, because you might be transferring a blessing, you might be transferring a miracle, and say, oh neighbor, when I think of the goodness of Jesus and all he's done for me, my soul, my soul cries hallelujah. Is there anybody here that you're declaring, I got next, I'm making a move in your business, you're making a move in this church? it's a question, it's a query of your own internal faith. He says, do you want it better? He says, because from the looks of it, I don't think you want it better. You've become comfortable at the pool, with all your sick squad. Your sick squad, and all of you just do a light contextual study. Pool of Bethesda, because folks felt sorry for the invalid, they would come down with baskets of bread, and they had bread, and they gave them beds, and pillows, and medicine. And so it was like the hookup. Just the sicker you were, the more attention you got. See, because sick people like attention.
Talk about it.
Oh. And Jesus says, will thou? Not can I. I wish you would catch this, but will thou? Jesus says, I don't want something for you. You don't want it for yourself. He says, if you want it, I can make it happen. Because he's not in the business of wasting miracles for ungrateful people. Are there any grateful people in the house? And he says, wilt thou be made whole? No, it wasn't, on the surface, it was a spinal paralysis. But from a self-actualization place, he had a spiritual sickness. He had a spiritual paralysis. His spirit was broke. Yeah. You know why I had to push it there? Because all of us in church, we're walking around acting like it's one thing. But discernment says, you just got a broken spirit. And Jesus says, do you want to be made whole? There's so much in this. He doesn't ask him, how about I touch your legs and put some power in your hamstrings and your quads and your calves? And how about I put power in your legs? He said, no. He said, no. I want to know, would you want a healed spirit, a whole spirit? Right? Because if I give you new legs, you'll go back to the old pool. I want you to look at your neighbor like you ain't scared of, like you from the hood, look at him and say, you need to check your attitude. Come on, tell him. That's what the sermon is about. Sometimes the move is just you fixing your attitude. It took me 30 minutes to tell you that. Look at your neighbor and tell them, you need a new attitude for the new year. Come on, you need attitude. I don't know if you gotta respect somebody more, love somebody more, forgive somebody more. Amen. I don't know if you just gotta wake up and you know what, and just even if you're not going on a date with nobody, come on, put makeup on yourself, dress nice for yourself, look in the mirror and say, somebody missing out, but you need to change your attitude. And I get a witness. And instead of the man giving Jesus an answer, he responds with a litany of excuses. Jesus says, do you want things to get better? I got a question for you. Do you want things in your life to get better? See, we scared to say that in church. Well, I'm satisfied where I am. I'm happy with Jesus, don't pour into it. Thank God I can say it. I'm pouring this it. No, that's a poverty mindset. But God said, when I give you a prosperity mindset, he says you got to first want it to be better. As soon as you want it, then you're going to go get it.
Yes, sir.
It says, will thou be made whole? And instead of the man saying, yes, I do, he starts to offer excuses. Why? Because he realizes that with his freedom will cost all his free stuff. He's going to lose all his attention on that free stuff. You don't know about that free stuff. All the complimentary stuff. He's like, what does life whole look like? When I've been taking advantage of this situation, this is a sweet spot. I mean, I'm getting hooked up. I'm mean, if I get up and get a job, I'm gonna have to pay some bills. Y'all missing this here. I mean, if I really get up from here, that means I gotta take on some responsibilities. Oh no, I think I might need somebody to take care of me. Right? So when Jesus said, you want to get better, the reason why he goes through all this excuse, because he's like, I think this is the guy that can make it happen, but I don't know if I'm ready, because as soon as I, where am I going to go? See, some of you in that place, what Scott would call an existential crisis. Like you're saying to yourself, yeah, Lord, I want things to be better, but where do I go? What does the road to better look like? I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not a crowded road. It's just gonna be you and the Lord. And he says, "Go thou." He said, "See what had happened was when the water trouble, nobody pushed me in. See what had happened was, you know, we know what it is." Bye, y'all. Listen, right? And you fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. Yeah. Jesus says, "What do you want?" Well, see, what it happened was I would, but all these excuses. And your excuses become a web of entitlement. Because now you start to use your excuses as a means to manipulate folk to give you stuff. Well, you know I can't pay you back right now. Bye. I got to live in the hospital all year. Like, come on, say amen. Amen. Here it is, and I'll leave you with this. Jesus looks at him and says, you know, there's too much riding on this, right? Because they were at the pool, they know I'm Jesus, they know what I can do, right? So I don't want my authority coming into question because you're playing games. He says, so just rise. He says, you will be made whole for a greater good. I want you to lift your hands because God is going to make you whole, not necessarily for your own personal, not for your own personal gain, but it's something collegial, something communal. A group of people are watching you and saying, I want to see how God heals her. Because if you do it for her, he can do it for me. Can I give you some advice? While you're there, don't just sit there docile, immobile. Do like my son did when he was learning how to walk. I would have go get him. He was scooting. You know, he would be crying. True story. I said before, he was just crying. And I wasn't going to go pick him up. And he just got smart. He got wise. He changed his strategy. He said, well, since the crying not moving, let me just move myself. So he started scooting. He didn't stop crying, but he kept scooting. He was in his feelings when he cried, but he was in his faith when he scooted. He would cry, scoot, cry, and the more he cried, the more he scooted. He didn't stay in that one place. And you know what? He kept crying and scooting. He got closer to me. And I was so moved by it. When I saw him crying and scooting, I didn't stand still either. I started just moving. I started moving closer to him. The father didn't move until he saw his child scooting and crying at the same time. I could have very well went over and got him, but I didn't. I just and I was moved. He was moved. He was scooting, crying. I moved toward him, and it was a powerful thing. When he saw me right on top of me, he just did this. Right? Pick me up. Pick me up. So make your move, because the more you make your move towards God, he too will move. Can I get an amen? Come on, give God praise.